What is up, dudettes and dudes? I just wanted to make a quick video as a tutorial for members because I do get asked quite a bit about um, why there's so many freaking poisons around, and every now and then a question on how you can make your own alt army. So I figured I'd just put it in a quick little video, give you guys a rundown. This page is filled with plenty of little tips that I typed out for you. Feel free to pause it and look at it and use it as an example and read at your leisure. The biggest tip on this page, and the one I'll go over right now, is how to use email aliases when you set up multiple accounts on the Fox site. The biggest pain in the butt is having to make a different email for every account. But if you have Gmail, you can use email aliases. And this is, an example of how to do that. When you type in your email name, all you have to do is put a plus sign at the end of it. And then anything you want after that plus sign to designate another account. And that email that you type in there will go to the original account. So all of your emails will go to the same email address. You don't have to go around making multiple emails. Huge time saver, and might help you save some of that insanity that we are all in short supply of. So there's some other quick tips on here. I'm not going to go into long-winded detail because I'm usually guilty of long-winded details, and I feel like you can just pause and look at this screen and figure it out for yourself. What I'm going to do instead is go into a Cronkite, show you guys the beginning, middle, and end, exactly how to get all the way through it quickly. Casually is going to be the optimal word here because this is not going to be a Cronkite speed run, and this is not the fastest X or co-op that you can do in order to gain Arc Force. There are faster ways to go about it. So this is just something that I want you to feel like you can do and anybody can do in about 10 minutes and net you some pretty good forage. As you can see, my primary weapon, it's nice, but it's not super nice. This is not a perfected bombardier. Any bombardier will do. Chances are you have a better one than this by now. Uh, my secondary weapon is not going to be used on this. It is simply to give me guard armament because I'm a bit of a wuss. Guard armament shield, as you can see here, and my stupid rig, which I do not take very seriously. This one is not set up. My Expo rig is set up the way I like it for solo expeditions. I'm pretty proud of that one. This one's a piece of crap, and I have not gone back over it because I'm going to decide on one of these other rigs to use. So that's the gear. These are the characters that you're going to be seeing in here, and let's go ahead and get up in it. So as long as you have 4 characters all in the same party, you can queue for anything you want in the game. That is a tremendous amount of power. You don't have to sit around and wait for people to queue into an expo or go out of your way to ask people to do it. You simply do it just like this. Alt tab join on all your characters, and then join all in. I know this looks tedious, but I promise you it will become second nature. You won't even think about doing it before it's over. Now, in order to speed up your run, start off by running your characters and putting them in the same place every time. You can use your blur right away because you're not going to need it again until it's recharged on your alt characters. And what you need to do for all content in this game is get points on each character. You don't have to get more than 1 point, but you do need points if you want to get rewards. So I have 2 characters that are 6K. That's how I get down. And I believe that's just the best way to play the game with this Penumbra system. So I have my secondary character. As you can see, he took the first hit, just so everybody points at him and he's not going to get demolished, and my other little Lobby alts are going to be fine. Switch to my main and get started. So ignore my trash aim. I played on keyboard and mouse for about 25, 30 years. Switched to controller because my neck sucks, and now I'm trash, but it's fine. So if I can get through this, no problem at all. You should be able to completely destroy it. Especially if you use more meta weapons, like, I hate to say it, but a Purgatory, Mass Cannon. It's going to get you through it a little bit quicker. Another big tip is to try to keep in the back of your mind that drops lag. So if you really want to get through this quickly and you really don't care about the drops because you like to hunt the door or something like that or other spawns, go ahead, just run through it. It's your money. I always double back and look and make sure that my my good stuff that dropped on the ground didn't just get left there, because I have these horrible nightmares that wake me up screaming about berserk mass cannons and cleansing napalm that I totally just walked away from in this game. So I always look back. The big thing about making money with this is having Patron. If you have Patron on all 4 accounts, you're going to see a very good game of 85 art boards for around 10 minutes worth of work. If you do not, cut that number in half. Still good Artforge. The annoying part of it being that it is split between 4 accounts. So if you're trying to OJ a weapon, it's not really going to be all that much faster on an individual account basis than if you just ran one account to 500 Artforge to OJ that weapon. But obviously, you will be gaining much more Artforge in the end, and you will also have that much more of a chance of getting a good item in a T30 Expo, which I'll make, other videos showing me doing T30 Expos, examples of how to solo them. You can see at the end, all 4 characters, regardless of level, will get, an equal chance of supreme items, things like that, and that's pretty hot. That starts to stack up, because if you played this game for a while, then you are aware that your chances of getting something nice are not that great. On one account, anyway. If you're just in there solo, I mean, wow, you are grinding for a minute to try to get, all the supreme chips and OJ chips you want. But if you have 4 accounts going at once, you're getting 4 times the amount of chips, and that also applies to opening the chip boxes. The random rig box at the end that you have a chance to get the jackpot rig. If you run all 4 characters to each loot room, then you just get that much more. And you can funnel all of the chips, since they are tradable, back to your main account that you want to open them on, the one that is capable of getting 3K rigs, and, just do that much better for your life. When it comes to Cronkite, obviously, the only thing you really need to do to get paid in this is get points on all 4 characters and get all 4 characters to the end. That's it. So, when running alts in the open world, for example, if you're doing your dailies, they only have to stand inside of the blue circle for the daily in order to get points. So they don't have to actually, or to get credit, sorry, they don't have to get points to get credit. But if you do kind of alt tab to each, if you have time, like if you're doing the mood train or something like that, and you wouldn't mind a couple extra keys and some experience on those accounts, and just switch to each account real quick, shoot 1 bullet, and be done with your life. When you're setting up those accounts, the very best power by far is blur. You want to have blur going, and you want to have both of the blur perks if possible, but if you're going to be picky, pick the one that extends the duration of blur. That is a big deal, because it will allow you to get a lot farther when running through some of the content on your alt characters, and just save you a lot of time in the long run. So when you get to a screen like this, I push Y because it's on controller. I alt tab each account to do it, and eventually, like I said, that looks like a pain in the butt, and it is at first, but it just becomes second nature. You don't even think about doing it. It's just all good. It seems like a lot more work than it is. I always akin it to having 4 browser tabs open at once when you're searching for things on the internet. It's not that big of a deal. The hardest part about it, honestly, is remembering how many times to alt tab to get to the character that you want, which is why on that tip screen you will notice that I have the tip listed to change the skin and hairstyle of each character. That way, when you are alt tabbing, you can see very quickly which character it is. Don't make them all look alike, and then get very far in the game, because then you're buying an appearance, redo, and that's just unnecessary. So make your characters look different. If you get other cool skins and stuff as you go, then just one little small difference. Even if you really like an outfit, pick a different hat, just like I did. Got the sombrero looking wannabe Raiden hat on one, and then I got just a stupid cap on the other, because I can totally tell the difference between the two. So as you can see, this is very casual. I'm on expert, um, just running right through it, no problems at all, really not taking much damage. You don't need a very nice GA secondary weapon. You just need something that you can hip fire and get through these things pretty quickly if you just want to do them casually like this. If you want to cut the time in half, use meta weapons. But I kind of figured that y'all didn't want to watch Purgatory spam the whole time like you will when I am doing a T30 Hellbugs video. So, you know, here you go. You can use bombardiers, salvos, plasma burst rifles are one of my favorites. Those things can be hip fired. I also recommend putting a stab sight on those because while they do reach out and touch somebody from a wide a ways away, the the stab sight allows you to hip fire them so much more. It makes them feel much more like a bombardier. And I think the same can be said of salvo rifles. I haven't had a lot of experience with them, but they seem to be a very similar weapon. So as you can see, this is one of the biggest time consumers when it comes to running 4 accounts. But if you really look at the time I spent in the video to run all 4 of these characters to the end versus the amount of Arc Forge I gained for doing so, good luck making that kind of Arc Forge per time spent in your normal daily life. You know, I mean, at the beginning, you could say it took me a little while to get points, but you have to watch, or I would have to wait for dude to walk up and open the door anyway. So while he's opening the door, walk and taking his freaking sweet time, just run all 4 characters into position and be ready to roll, you know? And little things like that will save you a long run, especially if you're going to do 150 freaking Cronkites, you know, today, and you're trying to get paid, then every second counts, right? So you can split this up as well. I have 2 6K characters, so in theory, I could just run the next portion of this on one character. Like when I got to that cut screen earlier, you can switch to your second character if you have another strong character. And then you will make slightly more Arc Forge in the long run for getting so many points on 2 characters. Let's see here. So then when you get to this little area, not really big. I just kind of see my site that I have on the things. I'm not really trying to buy a nice tropic to pay stab site. This is perfectly fine. So the biggest, most annoying part of this part of it is everything under this overhang and down here that you're killing. It is really easy to miss those drops. So I try to kind of kill the stuff that's in there so I can peek in that room real quick, make sure they didn't lag drop something for me. So that way I don't have to run back down the whole thing again. Yeah. So the good the good tip to have for the end of this is a mass cannon if you have the means. If you have a GA mass cannon, that's pretty optimal. You don't necessarily need GA in here. I mean, you can get by without it, especially if you have Siphon on your weapon or something like that. It's not a deal breaker. It's not like an Expo where GA is gonna make or break you. This co-op's pretty simple. So really, it's better to just have a strong mass cannon or purgatory or something that gets through this stupid dude's shield, because Daig, whatever you want to call him, he's annoying. He's really annoying to fight. So he does this little blur sidestep trap and eventually puts a big shield up. It gets all over your face. But if you have something that can shoot right through it without killing yourself, that's the optimal approach. As you can see, it just goes right through. You can watch Homeboy catch the video cassette tape, just like that every time. Alt tab, hit the push ahead button, and as you can see, 20 on one character, 20 on another character, 20 on a third character, and on my primary character, 26 Arc Forge. I believe that's with a slight clan boost right now. Usually it's 25, so that came out to 85 Arc Forge. You can do the math on how long it took me when you look at the video. Did it very casually. I even blew myself up at the end and still got through it just fine. And like I said, not the nicest gear that I did this with. Most of you already have better. And when it comes to the perks, that's kind of, you know, just your choice, what you want to use. Now for my alts, this is going to be a big tip and the last thing that I have to say for this video. Your perks do matter. Like I was talking about earlier, Endurance Runner is a big one, but One for All Self-medicated and Turn the Tide are amazing on your alts. So is Fortified Stance, because they're going to be standing around a lot. But Turn the Tide is the big one, because then your alts can res each other with one go. If you're in an expo, that's huge, right? And honestly, if you're expoing with other people, you should be running this perk anyway, because it just saves. So in the long run, you if you use One for All, or sorry, Turn the Tide is the one that allows you to get more self revive back. If you res another character, that's going to give you more revive in the long run. And it's One for All, sorry about the mistake earlier, that allows you to res everybody with one go. That's epic. That's just such a big deal, especially when seconds matter and you're alt tabbing to try to save your alt stack before a certain demise. You know, you have a boss barreling down on your main button and you need to get it done. You need that perk going. So anyway, I hope this video was helpful. Sorry it wasn't the best video. I don't do video editing or anything like that. I'm pretty much a YouTuber. I just kind of put it out there. So anyway, enjoy.